Welcome to Scary Stories. Tonight's story takes us to a forgotten place, a dry riverbed filled with old bones, known only as the cow graveyard. What started as a late-night walk turned into something far more disturbing, something that should never have been watching from the dark. Some places aren't abandoned, they're waiting. The cow graveyard that dug itself open. This story will tell us about a place that should have remained untouched, and a night when something answered the call of buried bones. There are places you don't find on maps, places locals don't talk about unless they trust you, places that feel wrong long before anything actually happens. Tonight's story is about one of those places, a dry riverbed, a graveyard of bones, and a night during lockdown when two teenagers learned that some things don't like being observed while they feed. So imagine the glow of a campfire, the world quiet and empty, and listen closely, because once you see what lives in places like this, you can never unsee it. My best friend and I were inseparable. If she was at her house, I was there. If I was at mine, she was there. We were basically attached at the hip, especially during the COVID lockdowns, when the world felt smaller, stranger, and unreal. Before I tell you what happened, you need to understand the cow graveyard. My friend lived just outside a small town. The neighborhood was quiet, almost rural, houses spaced hundreds of feet apart, long stretches of darkness between porch lights, and open land everywhere. Near her house was an old man-made stream bed that had been dry for as long as anyone could remember. We called it the wash. At the entrance to the wash was something unsettling. Cow bones, not one or two, dozens, at least 10 cows worth. Skulls, ribs, leg bones, scattered and half buried in the dirt. They were old and sun-bleached, completely clean. No skin, no hide, just bone. It looked like a mass grave. And for reasons I still don't fully understand, I liked it there. I collected animal bones, only from animals that had already died naturally, and the cow graveyard fascinated me. It felt ancient, forgotten, like time had abandoned it. One night, while we were at her house, both of us were struggling mentally. Everything felt off, heavy, disconnected. We had that familiar feeling again, like we weren't real. It's hard to explain, like being awake inside a dream, like the world was a stage set and we were just actors walking through it. That feeling had happened before, and I always told her the same thing. Go outside, look at the stars. In my dreams, the sky always looks fake, like a painted ceiling. The real stars helped ground me, so we decided to sneak out, smoke a little weed, and take a walk. We couldn't do it inside, her dad would have killed us, so we slipped out into the night, like idiots with no sense of self-preservation. Once outside, I suggested walking to the wash. She hesitated, then agreed. We walked slowly, lazily, talking about the universe, purpose, reality, those deep, rambling conversations that only make sense at night when your mind feels open and vulnerable. The air was still, too still. We were about halfway to the wash when we saw something moving near the cow graveyard. At first, we tried to be rational. "It's probably an animal," I said. It looked like something digging. There was just one problem. It didn't look like any animal either of us had ever seen, and it was twice the size of a bear. We stopped walking. Complete silence. For about 30 seconds, neither of us moved or spoke. The unreal feeling came rushing back, stronger than ever. It felt like our bodies were locked in place, like running wasn't even an option. Finally, my friend broke the silence, whisper yelling through shaking breaths, "Dude, what the fuck is that thing?" All I could say was, "I have no fucking clue." For a moment, I tried to convince myself I was just tripping, but she saw it too. The same shape, the same movement. There was no way it wasn't real. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in monsters. So my brain desperately searched for logic. "A bear," I said. "It has to be a bear." That lie collapsed the moment I really looked. The thing wasn't on all fours. It was standing. Both feet planted on the ground, bent forward at the waist, digging into the dirt with its bare hands. Not paws, hands. Dirt flew behind it in violent arcs, 7 or 8 feet into the air, like it was tearing through the earth with impossible strength. My friend started crying, full-on shaking, begging me to go home. And this is the moment where I prove I would absolutely die in a horror movie. I wanted to get closer. I needed to know what it was. She begged me not to. I told her she could go home if she wanted, but I was staying. After panicked arguing, we made a deal. I would yell at it. If it didn't react, we could move closer. My hands were shaking as I took a deep breath and shouted into the darkness. The moment I did, its head snapped toward us. Instantly, it was nearly pitch black, just a few distant house lights and my phone's flashlight cutting weakly through the dark. And I swear to you, its eyes glowed yellow, not reflected light, not an illusion. They glowed. The second our eyes met, fear finally took control. My friend was sobbing as we turned and ran as fast as we could back toward her house. We didn't look back. We climbed through her bedroom window, slammed it shut, and closed the blinds. Neither of us slept that night. We barely talked, maybe 5 minutes total, trying to describe what we'd seen. Every explanation sounded wrong. Every theory fell apart. The next day, around 11 a.m., we went back to the wash. The cow graveyard was gone. Every single bone. All of them, the remains of at least 10 cows, completely dug up and missing. The dirt was smoothed back over, piled neatly like nothing had ever been there. No footprints, no tracks, no signs of disturbance. It was as if the graveyard had never existed at all. To this day, I can't even look at cows the same way. Some places don't just hold memories, they hold remains. And sometimes they hold things that refuse to let the dead rest. Whatever we saw that night wasn't surprised by us. It didn't run. It didn't hide. It was busy. And when it realized it was being watched, it made sure there would be nothing left to find. So if you ever stumble across a place where bones lie too neatly, too quietly, a place the earth itself seems to protect, don't get closer. Because some graveyards don't mark where something ended. They mark where it comes back to feed. You've been listening to Scary Stories. This story is a reminder that not everything buried is meant to stay hidden. And when something begins to dig itself back up, it's best not to stay and watch, because some things don't run after you. They just let you see them once.